Welcome back to Medicine Made Easy with me, Kavya Tandal. Today we'll be seeing an important topic in otology, that is ENT. It is glue ear. The entire topic of glue ear is made very simple after knowing only the synonyms. Now, what we infer for glue ear is the secretion which is present in the ear is something like glue, that is thick. Yes, it is like an effusion. Now, what are the other synonyms of this glue here are serous otitis media, secretory otitis media, mucous otitis media with effusion, tubotympanic catarrh. From all these names, we infer that serous secretory mucoid refers to the fluid in the ear. That means it is thick, non-purulent and sterile. It is sterile, yes, it is not infected. If it is getting infected, it progresses to superior to otitis media. And this is a very important point. Next, otitis media says there is an inflammation which is happening in the middle ear. Media refers to middle ear and otitis media is inflammation of middle ear. As the cardinal signs of inflammation are Kehler-Ruber-Dohler tumor and loss of function, yes, the same are again evident in this pathology. That is, there is increased blood flow, which is we see as congestion. There's fluid in the middle ear because of the blood flow, yes, which we can see. Ruber, it is redness. Yes, the tympanic membrane will be congested and we can see the blood vessels on tympanic membrane. Then Dohler, yes, the patient can present with pain, ear pain. Tumor, there is a swelling. Yeah, here in this case there is bulging of tympanic membrane and loss of function. We are dealing with respect to ear, and thereby the loss of function here is decreased hearing. These are all the outline of a clear clinical features. Now the last line, tubotympanic catarrh, is another name of glue ear. Tubotympanic catarrh does mean tubal block is the underlying cause for the entire disease pathology. Because of the tubal block, there is a disease process developing in the tympanic cavity, that is the middle ear, and there is the pathogenesis starts. Because of the eustachian tubal block, there is a negative pressure created in the middle ear. This negative pressure exerted on the lining of middle ear, in turn causing the active secretion of the epithelium. Thereby, there is fluid accumulation. The secretory activity increases, the fluid accumulation is seen in the middle ear, and that fluid is of thick, non-purulent, it is still sterile. Now, as eustachian tubal block is the underlying pathology, what is the etiology of eustachian tubal block? Very simple. To remember etiology of eustachian tubal block, we need to remember the anatomy. Now, here is the eustachian tube, and over which we have the tubal tonsil, and above that we have the adenoids, and below we have the palatine tonsil. Here is the palate. Majority of times it is the allergy, seasonal allergy or other food allergy and so on. So allergy is one etiology. Apart from this, viral prodrome like influenza, adenovirus, rhinovirus and so on. Next is hyperplasia. All these tissues like adenoid hyperplasia, tubal tonsil hyperplasia and palatine tonsil involvement, that is chronic tonsillitis, chronic rhinosinusitis, adenoid hyperplasia, or sometimes many benign or malignant tumors of this nasopharyngeal area can also cause obstruction of the eustachian tube. Apart from this, there is any palatine defects can also result in tubal block. Majority of times all these etiology fit into the school going children, thereby this glue ear is common among school going children. Now coming to clinical features, as we have already seen, the clinical features are in relation to the inflammation of the ear. The same is what we are going to observe again. Here, because of the fluid accumulation inside the middle ear cavity, the hearing loss will be less than 40 decibel. Yes, it is less than 40 decibel. To remember why it is less than 40 decibel and what are the hearing acuity like 40 decibel, 60 decibel, how much is lost in what ear pathology, I have made a video and I have also given the link in the description. If you want, you please check it out. And now because of the bulging tympanic membrane and the fluid inside the middle ear cavity pushing the tympanic membrane, there will be mild earache. This earache can be primarily because of this or can be because of a referred pain from the underlying chronic tonsillitis or adenoid hyperplasia and so on. Now we can get the underlying cause which is resulting in the glue ear on examination. Then an important point in examination would be an otoscopic finding of tympanic membrane. It is usually said that it is a blue drum, that is very congested drum. To differentiate this congested drum from acute suppurative otitis media, that is You need to see the blood vessels. The blood vessel here will be along the handle of malleus or at the periphery, but not both. But in case of acute seborrheic otitis media, it will be giving an appearance of cartwheel appearance that is usually seen in the periphery and as well on the handle of malleus. This is one point. Next, because of the fluid inside, the mobility is restricted. Because of the fluid inside, the tympanic membrane is dull and as well opaque. Because of the fluid inside, there is bulging of tympanic membrane, or sometimes because of the disease process itself, there can be retraction of tympanic membrane seen. If at all the fluid is very transparent, it is not very thick, then we can even see the drum to be transparent, and as well the air bubbles can be present. This mobility of tympanic membrane is seen on Shigal speculum. Next, on investigation, we can see on tuning fork test, it is the conductive hearing loss because the pathology is restricted to the middle ear and the tympanic membrane. On pure audiometry, we can see most commonly it is conductive hearing loss of nearly 20 to 40 decibel, but there can be sensorineural hearing loss if the fluid is compressing the round window. On impedance audiometry, we can see the flat curve does signify the compliance is decreased. It is a type C curve. Now, what is the management? Very simple. Underlying disease should be managed first. That is kept in mind, and the treatment of choice would be the laryngotomy with grommet insertion. Apart from this, we can give decongestion, antihistaminics. In case of URI etiology, there is upper respiratory tract infection, we can start on antibiotics and majority on gram-positive coverage. Then chewing gum or repeated Valsalva maneuver can increase, or it tries to open the eustachian tube, thereby the obstruction decreases. This is all about the glue ear or serous otitis media. Thank you so much for your patient listening. If you like this video, you can like, share your views and comment below in the comment section, and as well subscribe to our channel for regular videos. Thank you so much for your patient listening.